We are on and it's live across the world. Can we get a comms check, please, so we can see how it's going down? New lighting. Sorry about it, it's a bit bright. Engineered to succeed. Matt, thank you, sir. Really appreciate that. Awesome. Don't tread on me. Survivalist Dad 101. Cool. Excellent. Right, so we're getting out there. Now, I don't know if you guys have been keeping an eye on the weather. I'm just going to come out the chat. It's just too crazy. If you're not in the UK, in springtime, so more over May, we had really, really dry weather, unseasonably so. What that's led to is a massive drop in reserve water supplies for the UK or certain parts of the UK. Now, I know for a fact that I'm out here in Mid Wales and Elan Valley is not like it should be. Now, I know it's been like it on and off for a few years now, but we've got quite a lot of people getting concerned now. And it is a bit weird because I know we've got rain at the moment. So, yes, we're going to get straight into this. So if you guys are new here, if you can hit the thumbs up, I'd really appreciate that. And if you like what you see, subscribe for more videos, hit the notification bell, etc. If you want to help out donation-wise and stuff, links below, and all sorts of other links to goodies and discounts. So we're going to get straight into what's going down. It's pretty crazy, actually. So this was quite a bit of a surprise. Now, when we're getting droughts, we're talking food, okay? Most of us know that UK farmers have been struggling for quite a while now, and it's just another kick in the nuts that they're getting. So we're going to go into what it's like for farmers right now, which I don't think has been reported as well as it probably should. I'm looking at this with a serious nature, and I'm going to be stocking up my food supply. So we're going to get into that. So here we go. It's the driest spring in 132 years. Leaves farmers facing harvest crisis. So some experts warn. This report was only just released earlier, just before this live stream. Okay, so we've highlighted some points which we're going to go over. I'm just going to double check. Hold on. Let me just try and understand what's going on here. Here we go. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Sorted. Right. Okay. So you can see what I'm seeing. Excellent. So, Farming UK. This was released today, just a few moments ago. The driest spring in 132 years leaves farmers facing harvest crisis, warn experts. And you can tell the date, the 6th of June, right now. Farmers are facing mounting pressure as England records its driest spring in over 130 years, with parched fields, poor crop growth, and dwindling water supplies threatening this summer's harvest. Experts warned. England is bracing for the risk of further droughts this summer after experiencing its driest spring since 1893, according to an emergency meeting of the National Drought Group held yesterday. So this is pretty much the latest that we can go with. So I can't understand why this isn't all over the mainstream press, but for me, and maybe some of you guys, a bit of a heads up because we could be facing some food shortages in the UK this year. The Environment Agency, which convened the meeting, warned that March, April, and May brought just 57% of average rainfall, leaving reservoir storage at only 77%, well below the usual May figure of 93%. Drought was officially declared in northwest England, northeast Yorkshire, and East Midlands are also experiencing prolonged dry weather. So you can literally go through all of this article, and it goes in through some of the DEFRA figures. Believe it, it's up to you. You don't have to. I don't. But there we go. Let me just what the hell is going on? Right, okay. So I'm going to remove that. Right, now we should be okay. Sorry about the tech retardedness. Bear with me. We've got 216 right here, right now. If you can share the video, it'd be cool. We're just going to smash through this because there's lots to discuss. All right. So just want to see if this. Yeah, that's not too bad. We'll keep it there. So this is from the government. Okay. So this was yesterday afternoon. This was released in the UK. National Drought Group meets after dry spring in 132 years. So it's pretty much the same as what we just saw earlier. So the Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs and the Environment Agency, the latest publication. The Environment Agency convened a National Drought Group meeting today. This was yesterday. We just said that. England has only seen 57% of the long-term average May rainfall, and spring is the driest since the reign of Queen Victoria. However, the recent rain at the end of May and the start of June is helping to stabilize the position. You've probably got rain where you are right now. Certainly had buckets in Wales today. So what's this? Yulgrave Waterworks, a private firm which supplies 500 homes in Derbyshire, became the first company to introduce a hosepipe ban at the start of June. This was only the other day. Reservoir levels are now at 77%. Fish rescues are being carried out on the River Red Lake and Tern in Shropshire. Navigation issues have been noted, with the Canals and Rivers Trust having to implement restrictions on the Leeds to Liverpool Canal and Lancaster Canal because of low water levels. And of course, it's got the Environment Agency phone number, etc. So that's the latest from our wonderful friends over at the UK government there. We move on. Farming online. National Drought Group steps up response after the dry spring in 132 years. This seems to be the flavour of all of these publications which were launched today. As you can see, the 6th of June right here, right now. It's pretty much the same as what we've just been talking about. Lots of it does seem to be copied and pasted all over the place. So we don't really need to keep repeating ourselves. I just thought it was interesting to show how wide this has got out. So that's farming online. Press reader, they just dropped this. Check this out. Come on. Reservoirs plunge in dry spring for 132 years. And despite the forecast for a soaking Saturday, which is tomorrow, some water companies might have to bring in drought measures this summer to conserve supplies. A warning came at a meeting of the Environment Agency's drought group, as declared drought in the northwest of England. It's pretty much seems to be repeats, guys. The chance of summer is higher than normal, with increased risks of heat waves and related impacts. So there you can see there's a shot of one of the reservoirs here in Wales, and it shouldn't look like that this time of year. Absolutely should not. This is quite interesting. We need to go through this. If I can come up here. This was released the other day. A double record breaker. Spring 2025 is the warmest and sunniest on the UK record. You may be shaking your heads because it's probably been bucketing down today, but you know, it's the first time in quite a while actually. Spring 2025 has broken historical climate records, marking an unprecedented season of warmth and sunshine across the UK, according to the provisional Met Office statistics. Excuse me. Here's the thing with the temperature, they love using the red there. Okay, think about what you will. With 653.3 hours of sunshine, 43% above average, spring 2025 has outshone all previous springs since the series in 1910. That's when they're saying that they started recording this. This exceptional season exceeded the previous record from 2020. Who remembers 2020 summer? That was insane. By over 27 hours already. This has been the fourth sunniest overall season for the UK and the sunniest since 1995. And the sunniest overall season for Northern Ireland. Wow. So, yeah, we just got some graphs and things like that. But you're going to be hearing, you know what I'm talking about. I can't even say it on here, but I think you understand what I'm saying. So it just goes through lots of gumph from the Met Office. Okay. Nothing really worth showing there. So my partner told me about this the other day. I couldn't believe it, but I checked it out. And there's a guy who I follow on YouTube called Weekly Weather Updates. His name's Daniel, and he's always first out there with advanced weather. And it seems to be that the mainstream's catching on to it now. It's going to be a scorcher, mini heat wave on the way. This was today, this afternoon. And look how serious they're trying to make it look with all of the red colors, etc. Temperatures are set to soar to 26 degrees in Worcester by midweek next week, following a spell of unsettled weather with thunderstorms predicted this Saturday. Anyone in the chat had any thunderstorms? Let us know where you are and how bad it was. I know I did get some reports earlier on through the week that some people lost power. I had mine down for one morning and it was okay. So we are having a big unsettled amount of weather, which is going to lead to crop shortages and food shortages. So we're getting a heads up on it straight away. All parts of England are set to roast in a mini heat wave as temperatures reach 30 degrees C. Wowee. That's crazy. So we're looking at June the 13th for about 2, 3, 4 days, depending. And yes, we are going to get absolutely red hot scorching weather. It's pretty much what the WX charts are showing there. It's going to be the southeast as usual. So yes, we are going to be seeing hot, dry weather next weekend. So that's pretty scary when you consider what's been going on with everything else. Now, we're going to get to the meat and potatoes now. 300 in the chat. Awesome. Now, this is a bit of a heads up. And if you guys who grow their own food in their gardens or the allotments, have a check at this. Look at this. The UK is facing higher likelihood of a hot summer in 2025, potentially with increased heat waves, according to the Met Office. So, crop damage, etc. Impact of livestock, etc. Potential for food shortages, etc. Economic impact, etc., etc., etc. So they're all talking about this heat wave, which is right off the back of already crazy stuff. And also, we're going to be blowing something up in a minute, so stay tuned for about a few minutes' time. We got some shocking stuff coming. I'm not joking. Just hang around and you'll see in a minute. So farmers, like I said, they're getting kicked in the nuts big time. Standard This only got released earlier. UK farmers lost £1 billion in arable income after extreme wet weather, data show. So this was last year, okay? Lots of us remember how wet and ridiculous it was last year and how much it impacted the farming industry. So, significant drop from barley, wheat, barley, rapeseed oil, albeit slightly offset by grains from potatoes, according to an analysis of the figures by the Energy and Climate Intelligence Unit. Wow, that sounds very advanced, doesn't it? Good God, honestly. The falling incomes can be attributed to the third worst harvest on record last year, caused by wet weather in key planting periods, as well as the ongoing fall in cereal and oilseed prices following the peaks of 2022. It comes amid warnings that farmers could be facing another terrible harvest this year following the hottest spring on record and the driest conditions in decades. I am not joking. When you start looking at some of the forums that the farmers use, it's unbelievable. There is so much bad stuff going on in the farming industry right now. There is a lot of struggle, and it can just go on and on and on. It's just unbelievable. If you was to go out in the UK and look around rural areas and see the fields, you might get a better take. But if you're just stuck in the city and you're not getting out and seeing it with your own eyes, it's truly shocking, to be fair. And with what's going on with the weather and how it's affecting crops, it's absolutely got nothing to do with any of this. 100% nothing to do with that at all. So don't worry, it's not that. Just close that. Right. Here's some of the reservoirs that we're seeing where they should be right up the top there. So March was the driest since 1944. So basically, the flavour of all of this, there's just so much evidence of what's going on, of how bad it is. But so being understanding of the situation, obviously it's dry. Last year was wet. Crops were a nightmare last year, and they probably are going to be this year. But I remember saying on a live stream, it's probably early last year, so probably a year ago as a guess. I remember saying that in the UK in 2027, all farm subsidies will cease. I don't think many people actually grasp the gravity of the situation. I wouldn't want to guess what percentage of farmers here in the UK rely on some or all of those farm subsidies. When they stop handing out those subsidies in 2 years or a year and a half's time now, you are going to see lots of farms go to the wall. And we are going to be needing to import more food than we ever have before. Personally, I feel that leaves us at an extremely vulnerable situation. So I remember, oh God, I think this was in 2020 when I was saying about it's going to change, the weather's going to change. What are they going to be doing with crops, root crops and grains, etc.? So I've got some highlighted points. Like I said, stay around. Got some stuff to blow up now. This, let me just turn that down. This is, it blew my mind. So are you ready for this? It's not good. I'm telling you, it's not good. This come out in 2020, okay? Farming Connect, all right? You can find this online still. The 28th of April, 2020, okay? That's when this was written by Dr. Kate Williams. She's in Aberystwyth University, okay? So we're not going to just bore us with all of the science with it all, but I've highlighted some points and it's quite scary. Here we go. So we're talking about barley. All right, barley is another important UK crop, predominantly planted in the spring and is ready to harvest in the summer. But listen to this. Several genes involved in drought resistance in barley have been identified and explored. One key gene is HVA1, which shows a linear relationship with drought response. The more highly expressed than the HVA1 gene is, the better the drought resistance of the plant. Another promising candidate is the HVP5CS1 gene, variants of which are associated with a good drought resistance. Both genes may serve as a useful DNA markers for genome-assisted breeding projects. Yes, this is here in the UK. Look at this. I even wanted to highlight current progress. Like I said, friends, most of the things that we're told, it's usually the opposite is true. Outside of the UK, progress has been made using new genetically engineered drought-resistant crops. For example, in the USA, the first commercialized drought-tolerant maize produced by Monsanto was planted by over 2,000 farmers on over 50,000 hectares. Wow. This cultivar uses genes taken from the bacteria. I'm going to butcher it. Bacillus subtilis and E. coli. Wow. That the enhanced cell stability and allow plants to maintain cellular function under drought stress. Yes. Wow. From Monsanto and using bits of E. coli in the food chain. And that was a report from the States, but that blew out in Wales 5 years ago. So I wonder how much of our crops are going to be having that sort of thing. So I would say some of the things I would say would be pretty good things to grow. Where is it? Okay. There's this one. So if you are planting vegetables, fruit in your garden or your allotment, okay. Root crops. So we're talking carrots, beetroots, parsnips, chards, Swiss chard, French beans, tomatoes, asparagus, rhubarb are good. They're okay for when it's drought time. Okay. Herbs as well. Most of the herbs are pretty good. So lavender, rosemary, sage, absolutely fine. Don't ever overwater rosemary. It will just finish it off. So there's just a few tips of some of the crops which will probably be wise to plant, okay, as we go forward. So before we even get there to all of the crops, water shortages are going to be happening in certain parts of the UK. Now, one of the things I've been using is this great big monster here, okay. I can just about get it in shot. It's a jerry can which will filter out anything. I mean anything apart from seawater, okay. You can fill it up with pee, you can put it out in the rain, you can literally pour water out of a stream or a river, etc. Pump it, it'll come out absolutely clean and clear. You can drink it straight away. If you haven't seen it, it's a Lifesaver and they're made in the UK and it is a bit of a beast. They do much smaller water filters, okay. So when water's a problem and you've got some stored, what I do is I just get loads of these, okay. You can buy these for what, £1, £1.50, depending on where you are. Get as much water as you can stored in these. The handles are nice and sturdy. I'm not really keen on those ones for the sellotape cheap things from Aldi because I've had one of those break on me before. It dropped, it split, and all of the water come out. So I would look for these ones. So check your shops wherever you are in the UK or indeed in the US. Okay, 5 litres. Drink it all. Once it's done, you can fill it up with filtered water, tap water. I just run it through the lifesaver. It just gets rid of all of the nasties. So I would, with those little warnings that are popping up now, would start stocking up on food. Absolutely. Every day of the week and twice on Sundays, I'm going to be adding more food to my supplies. Now, it's important because I don't know how many of you actually check the stuff that you've got. Only recently, I remember saying this on a live stream. I got some tinned curry from Aldi only about 2 years ago. And when I checked it, it probably went out of date by about 3 months, something like that. And when I shook it, it just sounded like water. So you can imagine how that's going to go down. So it's very interesting. Things have changed. A long time ago, 10, 20 years ago, you could buy tinned food and you could pretty much rest assured that you'll get at least 4 years before its best before time. Okay. What we're seeing now is probably around 2. Okay. So what's happened to canned foods? The shelf life isn't as long as it should be. I've already mentioned it before that some of the tin goods have less food in there and more space in there. Shrinkflation, if you want to dress it up as a word, which is what's going down. Just checking the chat. Cornish Bob. Listen, Cornish Bob, if you're going to the meet, can you bring your guitar, please, mate? I spoke to Dal, is tuning in his harmonicas, so it'd be cool. I think Scott's bringing his ukulele or banjo. I think it's a banjo, actually. So, yeah. Cornish Bob, cool, dude. So, yeah, I would start stocking up on food. Have a little look and see what you've got already. You want to make sure you've got rice and pasta. You always need to get those as staples. Okay, tin foods, beans, that sort of thing, soups, tinned meats as well. Very important. You get a lot of energy or calorific value out of tinned meat than you would if you had a tin of carrots, etc. Okay, but with all of that being said, it's always good to mix it up, right? Because if there is food shortages, and we remember what happened in 2020 when people had to queue up and you're only allowed 6 eggs per person, 4 pints of milk per person, 1 loaf of bread. That actually happened, okay? And I've always said what happened in 2020 was a test scenario. So we could be looking at further tests this year, and they're going to be using all of the weather anomalies as an excuse to push food shortages, okay? Don't forget, since 2020, there's a hell of a lot of more people living here in the UK. Farmers are going to be producing less food. We're going to be needing to import food. But if we've already got problems in Spain with this heat wave that's coming up next week, just make sure that you're going to be okay, right? Especially if you've got young ones and kids, you don't want to see them going without fresh food. Just keep an eye on the shelves, okay? We could be covering this. I did do a post, I think it was on Patreon. If you guys are not following me on Patreon, there's a link below to that. So I'll put some posts on there. Try to post every single day. I put a newsletter out on Tuesday, and there will be another newsletter going out probably on Monday. All right. So if you aren't signed up to the newsletter, just go below and you'll see sign up. You do it. It's free. Doesn't cost anything. All you need is a name and an email address. It doesn't even have to be your real name. All right. So if you want to remain anonymous, it's fine. All of the GDPR things are all set in place, so it's all good in the hood. Newsletters, wicked. And I've got it all up and running now. The link works to sign up to it. So if you did sign up to it and you haven't had any, try signing up again and see how it goes. So expect a big newsletter to drop on Monday, because we've got some changes on the horizon, and it's pretty much looking like we are going to need to start going back to basics now. Okay, going back to basics, making sure we've got enough food, making sure that it's not gone out of date. Go to the back of the cupboard. Have you got a tin that's dented? Bring it forward, inspect it. Okay, stuff like that it could be a problem, all right? And also, if you live in rural areas like myself, watch out for mice. Mice are a nightmare. Okay. I remember someone earlier asking me, where'd you get the t-shirts from? They're available underneath the video as well. There's a link. I've got a page with merch on there. So there's cups. I think there's caps, there's t-shirts, there's hoodies with all of the different logos on there. So you guys who have been buying those recently, thanks very much. I really appreciate the support. And yes, they're 100% organic cotton. It's not cheap stuff. So you're going to get something hard wearing and long lasting. So that's pretty cool as well. Also, someone said to me on an email last week, I can't remember it was, saying about the mini chainsaw that I was using. All of the links to that and my Amazon page with loads of stuff on there with discounts. That's underneath the video. Also, there's discounts for Olight torches and indeed Lifesaver. I have got a lifetime code, 10% off all of these. This particular jerry can will filter 20,000 litres of water. Yeah, 20,000 litres of water, unless you want to move around and carry your own water with you. It's retarded, it's ridiculous, you shouldn't do it. Just get one jerry can and you can filter any water from any river, dirty, sewer, whatever, and it will come out crystal clean, awesome, and it's made in the UK. So what we're going to do, you guys, is we're going to call it a day for this one. I just wanted to get this information out there, showing you all of the facts about what's going on with these droughts, food shortages, stock up on water, get it filtered with the jerry can, and make sure you've got enough food. It's important, otherwise you could be left out. It could be a crazy year of what's going on. So you guys take care. Thanks for all of your support and donations. You're awesome. Thanks for watching and stay funky.